Adam Silver has been the commissioner of the NBA for over a decade now. He's presided over some controversies, some crises. For example, right when he took over, he had to handle the Donald Sterling situation. 2020, who could forget going to the bubble and finishing that season in October? But this press conference he had at NBA All-Star in Los Angeles this week, it might have been the most anticipated presser of Adam Silver. A lot of issues, a lot of criticism, a lot of heat, a lot of questions wanting to be asked and needed to be asked. So we learned a lot. We learned a lot through answers and non-answers from Adam, digging into it. He is threatening severe punishments for tanking. He is taking tanking seriously now. It was unspoken in the past, turned a blind eye to in the past. Now he's taking it seriously. We're talking about punishments more severe than the fines dealt to Utah and Indiana this week. $50,000 to the Jazz, $100,000 to the Pacers. He even acknowledged he felt tanking was worse now than it's been in the past. And while Silver made it clear he doesn't have an obvious ready-made answer or plan for how to fix the issue, this is part of what he did have to say about tanking.
What we're doing, what we're seeing right now is not working. There's no question about it. And yes, is there more I can do? Have I attempted not only to respond to behavior we've seen, but send a clear message that we're going to be scrutinizing everything we see going forward? Absolutely. But I don't think that's the way to manage this system long term of I know it when I see it, or people in the league office. It'll lead to very unhealthy relationships between us and our teams.
If I could follow up.
Sure.
Is there any talk of taking draft picks away from teams that do this as opposed to fining them?
There is talk about every possible remedy now to stop this behavior.
Wow. Talking about taking draft picks away from teams? That's serious talk. You would think that the Mavericks and 1 year last decade, the Cavaliers having a 1 or a 2% chance at getting the number one pick and getting it might curtail teams throwing away their seasons to tank, trying to get a top draft choice. That perhaps coupled with a team losing their first round draft pick and made example of, maybe that does the trick. Maybe that gets this to stop. So that's the tanking piece. One of the dramatic changes that Silver seems ready for is expansion. He's not only telling us he wants a decision done soon, he's telling us when the conversations are expected to happen and that he wants a decision made this year, and he's specifically naming some of the front-runner cities. Here again was Adam Silver. This is from Saturday's news conference in Los Angeles.
I said at the end of last year when we were in Las Vegas that we will make decisions in 2026. I think in fairness to the cities, Seattle and Las Vegas in particular, I've been very clear. I don't want to tease teams. I don't want to tease cities or mislead anyone. I think we wanted to get through collective bargaining, national television deals. We've done that, and now we've turned to it as a league. My sense is at the March Board of Governors meetings, we'll be having further discussions around an expansion process. We won't be voting at the March meeting, but we will likely come out of those meetings ready, prepared to take a next step in terms of potentially talking to interested parties.
Will Dalton, can Conspiracy Josh make an appearance on the show? Is that okay? Don't know if
I love it. I love it when Conspiracy Josh comes out. It's a good time.
Still don't have a tinfoil cap yet, but just letting people know there are times there's criticism. At times you sound like NPR, Josh, and we don't like NPR, Josh. Can we get Conspiracy
No, we
Josh
don't.
from time to time? Conspiracy Josh making an appearance here. Adam Silver wants to expand now because it would lead to an immediate payday for the ownership of ballpark $10 billion per team, billion with a B. So 20 billion altogether going towards the owners, which might make those owners, that type of a payday, okay with then scaling back the 82 game schedule to 64 or 70. Because what's the pushback commonly on expanding or scaling back on the schedule? Oh, you're asking the owners to sacrifice money or leave money on the table. If you get the $20 billion payday, maybe then is the time to have that conversation, scale the schedule back to 64 or 70 games, eliminate back-to-backs altogether, so that way the load management crowd really, if they were already without a leg to stand on, wait a minute, doesn't the hockey, the NHL, have an 82-game schedule and back-to-backs, and they still find a way to play a more physical game? What excuse do you have at this point? If you're trying to solve the availability issue, maybe scaling back the schedule is the answer and eliminating back-to-backs and spreading things out a little bit, and this might help you do so. Thus capping Conspiracy Josh making an appearance. It is noteworthy. It seems clear he's looking exclusively at expansion, not relocation. Because there have been rumors out there that the New Orleans Pelicans or maybe the Memphis Grizzlies might be the teams to relocate to Seattle or Vegas. It doesn't seem Adam Silver's all that interested in that. So expansion, that seems to be the conversation, and that's going to be something to follow throughout this calendar year. Lastly, Adam Silver completely sidestepped the Kawhi situation. He did not really want to talk about that. He knew it was going to get brought up. It's obvious it's a massive story considering the All-Star game is at Steve Ballmer's Intuit Dome in Inglewood, but this is as far that Silver was willing to go and asked about it.
The league office is not directly running the investigation. That's being overseen by a law firm, Wachtell in New York. From everything I've been told, the Clippers have been fully cooperative, but as I said, I'm not involved day to day in the investigation. And I think, as I've said before, it's enormously complex. You have a company in bankruptcy, you have thousands of documents, multiple witnesses that have been needed to be interviewed. I will say, just in case anyone's wondering, the fact that All-Star is here this weekend has had no impact on the timeline of the investigation.
That's a interesting thing to just throw in there at the end. The question was, I think it was Chris Mannix asking it. Hey, what's the threshold for you to levy punishment here in the Kawhi situation? And you knew you were going to get the canned, well, there's an investigation going on right now, and we're going to wait till the results of that coming out. But then the follow-up there, where he said, and by the way, don't think that the fact we haven't gotten results from this investigation or haven't made any ruling on this whatsoever has anything to do with the timing of this All-Star game that Steve Ballmer's hosting at the Intuit Dome. Don't be ridiculous. Why would you ever surmise such a thing? It comes off, see, one of my favorite movies is the David Fincher movie Zodiac, where the guy we're led to believe is the Zodiac killer. It's this guy named Arthur. And they see him. And the whole idea around serial killers is that they want to be caught. They want you to know that they did it. Right? They're proud of what they've done. They're psychopaths. And there's a scene in the movie where they're interviewing this guy at a factory, and he just volunteers not be an ass. Oh, by the way, the knives in the back seat of my car with blood on them that night, that was because I skinned a chicken. We didn't ask you about blood on knives in the back seat. Oh, I thought that maybe the last officer maybe would have brought that up. That's how Adam Silver sounds right there. Where he's like, yeah, and by the way, the fact we don't have any position as a league on this and have said nothing about it, and conveniently the investigation after 6 months hasn't really produced much. It has nothing to do with the fact that All-Star Weekend is in Los Angeles and it's being hosted by Steve Ballmer. Got it. Right. We did learn a lot from things that he actually said and things that he didn't say in that press conference Saturday.